welcome to the feeding grounds. Right off the bat, we got a nervous little Sharga here, who is clearly not a card-carrying member of the SFL. Anyway, now that I'm here, I thought I'd finally drink that second frog potion I found on the last level. Drinking the first one maxes out your strength for a little bit, but if you quickly drink another one after it, you get a permanent extra point for strength. I didn't actually forget to drink them on the last level, but I was convinced I'd be able to find a third one on this level. Well, turns out I was wrong. I'm using the stone spear on this level because it's pretty powerful and I haven't had a chance to use many polearm weapons just yet. In this chest there's a rune scroll.
This rune is required to translocate. Use the homing rune to complete the circle.
Ah, this is a slightly confusing but very useful spell, which won't be complete until I find the other half of it, basically. The rune I just found will allow me to draw a blue circle on the ground, which functions as a teleportation point. But I'll need to find another spell in order to be able to actually teleport back to the circle. Still, trust me when I say this will really come in handy in the next few levels. The feeding grounds are kind of a schizophrenic set of levels. You don't face any new enemies here, just a compilation of the enemies of the past levels, which means Shargas, frogs, and fire-spitting plants. The feeding grounds are also schizophrenic because they act as a hub that leads into several different levels. Not that that breaks up the linearity of the game much. Most of the levels are dead ends and only one leads into yet another new one. Long corridor, crushed bones, and what's that sound? Oh lord! Whew! Saved by Stonekeep's awkward tile system. Yeah, that's a one-time trap. Oh well. Strength potion wore off, but because I drank 2 of them, I kept a permanent upgrade. Nice. The spear, of course, gives me a little bit of extra reach, allowing me to hit the mushroom on this other tile. Oop, I just heard the footsteps of frogs. Hey, what's this?
That is definitely a Throggish magic glyph.
They must have some way of passing through it safely.
Some way of identifying themselves, perhaps.
I could just step through this glyph at the cost of some hit point damage, but I'll wait until I have a way to safely pass through it. Whoop, company! Let's hit these guys with some spells. Aw, come on! Pansies. Oh, gee, oh, blah, blah. The energy bolt rune really drains that rune staff quickly. That was kinda pointless. Let's switch back to some melee combat. Oh, guess I softened him up considerably. Come on. So, yeah. Stone Spear, actually quite good. Let's see what else is in these corridors. Well, more company at least. Yeah, not too bad. And this guy drops a sturdy Throggish key. The feeding grounds kind of lack identity as a level, which is not helped by the fact that it's got the same Sharga Mines background once again. This chest contains some healing potions, and 1 super healing potion, which obviously heals even more hit points than the regular blue potion. I'm unsure why they use this mine background for so many of the levels, but I kinda suspect it has something to do with the fact that Stonekeep's tile system was kind of tossed around late in production. Before it, the game had your character standing on the center of the tile and moving from center to center. But somewhat late in production, they changed that to have you standing on the back edge of the tile, which does allow for moments like me stepping aside to avoid the boulder that rolled past me, but I imagine they had to redraw nearly all of the background graphics in order to fix the changed perspective. So anyway, that's what I suspect is the reason why this background gets reused so much. Just gonna have myself a quick round of healing. My health is actually not doing too well because I'd been depending on magic so much. If I'd been using weapons a little bit more regularly, then my agility would have raised up a little higher, and so would my health. Well, I guess it's true enough to the fantasy RPG type. If you play a wizard class character, your fighting skills and health usually aren't that great. But maybe I'll get a chance to fix this up a little bit in the later levels. Alright, let's trek back a little to the starting area, because I want to head over into the right area a little bit. See, there's a familiar sound. Who likes some fried rattlesnake? Good eating. Like I said, feeding grounds, compilation of old enemies. But here's the real prize of the level. Not this dagger. Ooh, plate armor. Finally, Drake gets an upgrade. That's real nice. Can finally put this old chainmail aside. Don't really need this helmet. I guess this poor fella got crushed by the boulder, but somehow his plate armor was miraculously undamaged. I'm not complaining. In this room, we face a trio of Shargas and discover something interesting. Namely, that my armor is now so good, these Shargas literally can't hurt me. It's not quite the same for my poor dwarven buddies, but who cares about them? And they drop a whole lot of super healing roots. Pretty good. Another chest here.
This looks like dwarven manufacturing.
It looks familiar.
Take note of Domber's interest in this, well, whatever it is. We'll just keep it here till maybe he remembers what it is. Nothing in this pile of dirt. Anyway, this room is probably the best place in the game if you want to grind up your shield skill. Simply strip your dwarves of weapons, put 2 shields in Drake's hands, and walk away. Since the 3 Shargas can't actually harm you, you'll just take their hits and gradually build up skill points for your shields. Of course, your dwarves will probably get slaughtered, but that's what you have the Orb of Aquila for. This guy didn't get the memo that I'm now Sharga-proof. Let's see, I don't think I killed that flower. This loops back into where I've already been. This is a slightly confusing level. Hey, what's this? Some more stray ants. These are some really pointless enemies to have around now.
So have I, but I can't quite place it.
Another one of those things that has Domber's interest. They look like pieces of carved wood or something. We'll find out what they're for later. A lone mushroom. Let's keep moving. Another one of those useless screaming alert mushrooms. Nothing much for them to alert around here. Hey, it's a living fire flower. Another chance to use the flame rune then. But it seems like it doesn't really have an effect if the fire flower isn't exactly on the center of the tile. Doesn't matter, fireballs still work quite well. These things really barely count as enemies. A door here, which we do have the key for now, but since that leads into the next part of the feeding grounds, I'm just gonna head south a little further. Good old punchable collapse here. Let's take care of it with some firebolts. Now, I see some arrow holes in the wall directly opposite to me, but this switch turns them off. On the corner here we have some company. Let's try setting fire to it. Oh, that's all of the charge my runecaster has right now. No matter, still got my trusty stone spear. Took care of him quickly enough. This guy drops a key as well, but it's the same key that the other frog dropped. At the end of the room, we find another door with a Throggish glyph on it. Let's just avoid that for now, and instead see what these barrels contain. Some oil bottles. I've used up the ones I had, so that's nice. And this one has a root or two in it. Nearly done around here. I just want to run through a few more corridors to make sure I haven't missed anything. Nope, almost left this fire-spitting flower alive. Can't have that. This looks very familiar. I think I've seen just about everything worth seeing here. Still need something to get me through those glyph doors, but I won't actually find that until the second level of the feeding grounds. So let's head there now. There was that door I passed by earlier, which I have 2 keys for now. Yeah, everything worth seeing has been explored. I do hear the sound of frog feet coming from inside. Yeah, we have a pair of frogs standing here. Well, here's a chance to show what happens when you use the Orb of Azrael. This green glow around Drake means that a quickness spell has been cast on him. Quickness makes his weapon strike faster, but it's especially useful when combined with a projectile weapon like the bow and arrow. There's almost no delay between bow shots now. The spell lasts for 10 minutes and you can use it twice on each map, just like the Orb of Aquila, but it will only recharge when you enter a new map. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be doing much against these frogs. I think it's just because they're very well protected against piercing damage. Most enemies will quickly fall to a rain of arrows like that. Let's just switch to that good old magic. If I don't shoot the doorpost instead. Now that works a lot better. but I happen to know there's one more standing around the corner inside. Let's take care of him with my faithful spear. This is looking kind of unfair. Ooh, he's really doing a number on Karzak. And there he goes. Well, that finishes up the first level of the feeding grounds. I won't subject you to me picking up all 99 of my arrows. I'll do that off screen. Instead, I'll just see you on the other side of this door. Bye.